Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I wanted to do a quick podcast on whether standing up for yourself makes you a narcissist. And a lot of people get labeled a narcissist because they stand up for themselves or they speak up for themselves. And I had somebody actually ask me about this, and they said, well, am I a narcissist because I'm always, standing up for myself or, giving it back to somebody or something like that? No, that doesn't make you a narcissist, okay? We need to clarify things. Just because somebody stands up for themselves and let's say somebody puts you down or judges you and you come back at them, that doesn't make you a narcissist. That makes you somebody who's defending yourself. Not that you should ever have to defend yourself to somebody who's toxic. That's really important to know, you guys, because for so many years, I was that person who always, when I was criticized or judged, I used to go back and forth with the narcissists that I dealt with, only to realize that, they're not even listening to me. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, I see it from your point of view. No. And then I got to a point and I said to myself, I'm dealing with somebody toxic. So it doesn't matter what I say to them. They're not listening. They don't care. Okay. But when we talk about standing up for yourself, you have to stand up for yourself in this world. You have to. And I personally can speak on this because I've had to be a fighter my whole life, you guys. I mean, I have 3 kids, 2 on the autism spectrum. I've had to fight schools. I've had to fight doctors. I've been in a hospital ER where they weren't treating my son right, where they weren't giving him medicine. You want to talk about a lack of empathy. You'll see a lack of empathy when you go into, let's say, an emergency room or something like that. You're going to see plenty of people with lack of empathy. And then you have some people that do have empathy. I'm not going to say everybody isn't like that. But what I'm trying to say is, in this world, you've got to stand up for yourself, okay? Because nobody's going to do it for you, not even your family, all right? We live in a very self-absorbed society, okay? At this point, people are tired, they're burnt out. A lot of people have financial stress. A lot of people have broken relationships, broken marriages. A lot of people have emotional scars. That's why so many people are living with anxiety and depression, and especially after the pandemic. You see people more damaged today than before the pandemic because of what they went through. Living in solitude, not having that human interaction, having relationships break down, dealing with all kinds of stresses, family stress, relationship stresses, and everything else. So my point is this: you have to stand up for yourself for what is right. When you stand up for yourself for what is right, that doesn't make you a narcissist. What makes somebody a narcissist is their lack of empathy, their lack of concern for others, that feeling of superiority, that they are better than the next guy, or they feel that entitlement, okay? They're entitled to cut the line and you have to wait. That makes somebody narcissistic, okay? And there's other qualities as well. A lot of times narcissists, they have this thirst for control. They have to control everything. They're always going to control a conversation. They know better than you, okay? They're going to always one-up you. With a narcissist, it's always a competition. The other thing with the narcissist is they don't like to validate you, okay? You could be talking the truth. You could be speaking facts, but you know what? They don't care. A lot of times they're going to sit there and they may not even acknowledge what you say or dismiss what you say. Covert narcissists do this all the time. They just look at you and they won't say, yeah, no, that's right or something, because they're not going to validate you. But here's the thing. You validate yourself, okay? You validate yourself. And how do I know that? Because I've had to do that. Because I've been in a position where I've had nobody have my back and I had to validate myself. You only know how strong you are till strong is your only option. And then you realize that, God's got my back, okay? God is within me and gives me the strength to do what I have to do for myself and for my children and for whoever else, okay? This is what you have to realize. The strength lies within you. A lot of people don't realize this because they're not spiritual. They just think in terms of the flesh. They just think in terms of everyday life, everyday living and, possessions and money and sex and everything like that. But they don't realize that their inner strength is within themselves. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, you treat people how to treat you, okay? Or rather, you teach people how to treat you. And that's why we talk about boundaries all the time. When somebody talks to you in a nasty, condescending way, you don't engage with that. You step back from that. You distance yourself from them. You may say something to them like, I don't appreciate you making that comment, or I'm not going to talk to you until you talk to me in a respectful manner. This is your way of letting them know, you know what? I respect myself. And if you want to continue having a conversation with me, you're going to talk in a respectful manner. Otherwise, this conversation will not continue. This is how you set up a boundary and teach people how to treat you. That doesn't make you a narcissist. That makes you somebody who respects yourself. You're not a narcissist because you're not trying to hurt other people for your own benefit. What you're doing is you're standing up for yourself. And the twist of all this is a narcissist is going to flip everything back on you. A narcissist is going to come back and call you the narcissist. They're going to, mess with your head and say, oh, well, you're the narcissist. It's all your fault. Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? This is the way they deflect off them, is to point the finger at you. What's the best defense? An offense. And what does that mean? Flip the blame. Narcissists love to flip the blame. Okay. I always tell people, you want to know how you're dealing with a narcissist? They're going to flip that blame right back on you. Okay. A narcissist always does this. They don't want to take accountability. But here's the thing. Never, ever feel bad for standing up for yourself. Okay. Because you have to, when you go through life, you've got to look at the facts. You've got to look at a situation that you're dealing with, whether it's work, whether it's a family situation, whether it's dealing with an ex-partner or something like that. And you have to put your emotions to the side, okay? Never think with your emotions. Think with your head, all right? That's why I tell people they get caught up in that reactive abuse. In other words, instead of responding to somebody, they react to somebody because they let their emotions get the better of them. They get angry. How do I know? I used to be that person. When somebody used to attack me, I used to come back at them in a rage, because I was angry, I was hurt, and I was like, you know what? If you're going to come at me, I'm going to come back at you twice as hard. But then I realized that I'm dealing with toxic people and I don't need to react like that, because when I react like that, the first thing they're going to do is say I'm crazy, or go to other people, they're flying monkeys, and say, oh, look at how she's reacting. You see, she's crazy. You see, she's got a mental disorder. When in reality, I was just standing up for myself, but I didn't do it in the right way. The right way is to stay controlled and not let your emotions take you over. When somebody is able to get your emotions going, they get control of you, okay? It takes practice, you guys. It takes practice, and it also takes a mental awakening to realize that, you know what? I don't need to defend myself. I don't need to plead my case to this person. Who is this person? Who is this person that I have to sit here and defend myself or justify myself? And half the time, these people that are coming at you shouldn't be opening their mouth to begin with, because they're living in glass houses. Okay, so remember that. Anytime somebody comes at you, any which way, look at them, look at their background, look at how they live, and say to yourself, does anything that come out of their mouth really matter? Or am I dealing with a fool? Am I dealing with a fool? Am I dealing with a toxic person? And a toxic fool is going to talk garbage out of their mouth. And that's not somebody. You never argue with a fool, okay? Never. You disengage from that and you say to yourself, this is where the mental awakening comes, you guys. Then you say to yourself, I'm dealing with a fool. Let me just back off from this because you're not going to win. I'm dealing with a narcissist. I'm dealing with somebody toxic. I'm dealing with somebody who you cannot reason with, okay? And it doesn't call for me to have to get all angry and upset because I know this is toxic. I have to accept this person is toxic. They're not going to change. This is who they are. And if I have to deal with them, I deal with them. Minimal contact. If I have children, minimal contact with regard to just the children, okay? You follow a legal stipulation to the T, and you don't get emotional with that person. You don't drag yourself down in the dirt with that person because they're going to want to get you upset. Especially if you have a narcissistic ex and you have children and you're arguing and you're fighting over children or you're fighting over visitation or any of that kind of stuff, they're going to want to upset you. They're going to want to hurt you bad. A narcissistic ex is going to want you to suffer, okay? Trust me, I know. I have a narcissistic ex that still to this day, over 20 years later, still wants to see me suffer. But I will not engage in the nonsense. I will not, okay? That I step back from it because they're not worth it. They're not worth it. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. You could stand up for yourself, but you do it in a very controlled, mature manner, and you always realize who you're dealing with. And it doesn't matter if they come back at you and they call you a narcissist, or if other people, I get people all the time, you guys, by the way, that get on my posts on my social media and say, oh, you look like a narcissist to me. And you know what? It doesn't matter what you say because you're an idiot. And for you to come on my post and call me a narcissist, you're a vicious person because I'm out here trying to give awareness to people. And you know what? I don't have to even respond to that because you're not even worth my respond. So you know how I deal with people like that, with haters, with angry people? Delete, block, goodbye, you're gone. You're not even worth a response. This is how you have to be. These people are not worth your time. And just because you stand up for yourself, all right, that doesn't make you a narcissist. You know why? Because you don't have malintent. You're not doing it to hurt somebody. You're doing it to stand up for yourself, okay? And there's a lot of demons and nasty people out there that want to bring down people that create awareness. They want to bring down people that try to strengthen other people. Because when we strengthen other people, guess what? These narcissists, these demons, their tricks don't work anymore. Their manipulation doesn't work anymore because people are woke. They're woke to what is manipulation. They're woke to the red flags, and it makes it harder for them. So what are they going to do? They're going to strike down people that create awareness, all right? But it doesn't matter because I have my self-worth, I have my strength. I've been through enough crap, believe me when I tell you, not even about narcissism, just dealing with autism and what I've had to deal with and the struggles with autism with my son, that a narcissist is nothing compared to what I've been through with doctors and schools and everything like that, and the fight that I've had to fight, okay? And this is why I'm telling you, with regard to narcissists, you have to, you cannot worry about what these people say, all right? Because anything that comes out of their mouth doesn't mean shit, all right? Believe me when I tell you. And stop defending yourself to the narcissist. And you're not a narcissist. If you're not, trying to hurt somebody, if you're not trying to get over on somebody, or something like that, then you are not the narcissist. Narcissists do things to benefit themselves, and they don't care who they hurt. Just by you standing up for yourself or defending yourself does not make you a narcissist. And this is what you got to realize. And anybody that comes at you and calls you that or anything like that, there's your narcissist, there's your toxic person, there's your red flag, and there is somebody that you don't engage with or bother with, okay? Because they're not worth your time. So standing up for yourself, if somebody's not in your corner, they're not worth your time. Disengage, and don't bother with somebody who's not standing up for you when you're standing up for yourself, okay? I hope that helps you, and if it does, please hit the subscribe button, you guys. Please share the podcast. I would appreciate it, and have a great day. If you're having trouble in your relationship, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who's a narcissist and you're really confused, you don't know what to do, you need some advice or some clarity, well, I offer email and also phone coaching. Please go to the podcast description for the link on how to get email or phone coaching, or maybe you just have a question that you need answered. All questions will be answered confidentially, so go to the podcast description where it tells you how Yaz can answer your questions. Are you dealing with a toxic person or a narcissist and you don't know how to handle this person? Well, if you have a question and you want it answered, you can get a personalized video sent to you. The link is in the bio, wizio.com/the_game_exposed, and ask a question and have a personalized video sent back to you answering your question. Whether you have a toxic person in your life, a narcissist, you're having a dating or relationship problem, get your question answered. Go to Wizio, WISIO.com/the_game exposed to ask a question. Links in the bio. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to make you aware that the Game Exposed podcast now has their merchandise available. You can check out the link in the podcast description. There's hoodies, there's sweatpants, there's t-shirts, there's cool hats. So go check it out. Link is in the podcast description. And follow Yaz on Instagram at dating_advice_Yaz.